By 2026, nuclear energy could be the hottest growth sector in the stock market, and hardly anyone's paying attention. We're on the verge of a clean energy revolution, with a handful of companies set to dominate. Forget old-school nuclear, this is safer, more efficient, and scalable tech that could transform the global grid. Today, I'll break down 3 nuclear stocks I believe are primed for major moves: a domestic fuel kingpin, a microreactor pioneer, and the global leader in modular reactors. Smash that like button, subscribe, and remember, this is for education, not financial advice. Let's dive in. First up, Centrus Energy, ticker LEU. This company is quietly becoming one of the most important players in America's energy future, and most investors have barely noticed. If you care about the next wave of nuclear innovation, Centrus is a name you need to know. Centrus is the only U.S. company licensed to produce HALEU, high-assay, low-enriched uranium, the essential fuel for next-gen nuclear reactors. This isn't just any uranium, it's the key ingredient for the advanced reactors that could redefine how we power our world. Traditional reactors use uranium enriched up to 5%. HALEU is nearly 20%, enabling smaller, safer, and more efficient designs. This higher enrichment level means reactors can run longer between refueling, generate less waste, and offer more flexible deployment, perfect for the energy grid of the future. For years, Russia dominated HALEU supply. Now, with rising geopolitical tensions and supply chain risks, the U.S. is desperate for a domestic source. The urgency is real. Energy security is now a top priority for policymakers. Centrus has a government-sanctioned monopoly. That's a strategic moat you can't ignore. No other U.S. company can legally produce this fuel at scale, giving Centrus a lock on a market that's about to explode. In 2023, they launched production at their Ohio facility, the first new U.S.-owned enrichment plant in 70 years. This is a historic milestone, signaling a new era for American nuclear independence. The Department of Energy is backing Centrus, recognizing the national security stakes. Federal support isn't just financial. It's a signal to the entire industry that Centrus is the chosen partner for America's nuclear future. The plan: scale up fast to meet surging demand from dozens of advanced reactor projects. The company is already working to expand capacity, aiming to supply both government and commercial customers as the market takes off. As companies like Oklo and NuScale deploy their reactors, they'll need HALEU, and Centrus is the only domestic supplier. Every new reactor project is a potential long-term contract for Centrus, locking in years of recurring revenue. This gives Centrus immense pricing power and a guaranteed customer base for years. With so little competition, Centrus can negotiate favorable terms and secure multi-year deals. Financially, Centrus is shifting from development to revenue generation, with government contracts providing a stable base and commercial orders set to ramp up. The company is moving from a story of potential to one of real, tangible growth. Bipartisan support for nuclear energy in Washington further de-risks the story. Both parties see nuclear as essential for clean energy and national security, making Centrus's position even stronger. The risk: if advanced reactors are delayed, demand for HALEU gets pushed out, but momentum is building, with billions committed to this tech. The government is investing heavily to ensure these projects succeed, and the private sector is following suit. By 2026, Centrus's facility should be scaling, and the first wave of advanced reactors will be ready to launch. The next 2 years are critical, as the company ramps up production and locks in new contracts. Think of Centrus as the only gas station for a new fleet of high-tech cars. Every new reactor is a future customer. As the nuclear renaissance accelerates, Centrus stands to benefit from every new deployment. The management team has deep government and industry ties, and they've already navigated the toughest regulatory hurdles. Their experience is a major asset as the company scales up and faces new challenges. This isn't a speculative startup. It's a critical piece of national infrastructure. Centrus is now woven into the fabric of America's energy and security strategy. The barriers to entry are sky high, and the company is positioned to be the backbone of America's nuclear future. No new competitor can easily replicate what Centrus has built. The stock won't 100x overnight, but it's a strategic, long-term play on the energy transition. For patient investors, Centrus offers exposure to a sector with massive tailwinds and limited downside. Watch for news on government funding, production scaling, and new fuel contracts. Each is a catalyst. Any announcement could send the stock higher as the market wakes up to Centrus's unique position. Every new reactor project or government initiative to onshore supply chains is another tailwind. The more the U.S. invests in nuclear, the stronger Centrus's moat becomes. In summary, Centrus is the sole U.S. producer of HALEU, with a government-backed monopoly and a critical role in the nuclear renaissance. The company is at the center of a once-in-a-generation shift in how America powers itself. Immense support, an impenetrable moat, and positioned to benefit from the entire sector's growth. Centrus is not just a company, it's a cornerstone of the new energy economy. If you're serious about the future of energy, this is a must-watch stock. The nuclear revolution is here, and Centrus is leading the charge. Let's move to the next game changer. Transition to next scene. End of scene. Next up, 𝗗𝗧, ticker 𝗗𝗧, a company that feels straight out of sci-fi but is very much real and aiming to disrupt the energy landscape as we know it. 𝗗𝗧 is pioneering microreactors, compact, factory-built powerhouses that can deliver 15 megawatts of clean electricity. That's enough to power 15,000 homes, a major data center, or even a small industrial complex, all from a unit that could fit inside a shipping container. Unlike the sprawling, decades-old nuclear plants of the past, 𝗗𝗧's Aurora reactor is designed for mass production. By building these reactors in a factory setting, 𝗗𝗧 can slash construction time from years to months and dramatically cut costs, making nuclear energy more accessible than ever before. Their use of liquid sodium coolant is a game-changer. It allows the reactor to operate at low pressure, which means fewer risks of leaks or explosions. Plus, the Aurora is passively safe. If it overheats, it automatically shuts down. No human intervention required. This is a huge leap forward in nuclear safety, addressing one of the biggest concerns people have about nuclear power. 𝗗𝗧's business model is just as innovative as its technology. Instead of simply selling reactors, 𝗗𝗧 plans to sell electricity directly to customers through long-term contracts. This means recurring revenue, much like a traditional utility, but with the growth potential and scalability of a tech company. Their target customers are diverse: remote communities that struggle with unreliable power, military bases that need secure, independent energy, industrial sites with high energy demands, and especially data centers. These are huge power users, and they're desperate for reliable, clean energy that doesn't depend on the weather or long transmission lines. The AI and cloud computing boom is driving insatiable electricity demand. Data centers are popping up everywhere, and they need a constant, massive supply of power. 𝗗𝗧's microreactors are perfectly sized for this market, offering a solution that's both scalable and sustainable. 𝗗𝗧 isn't going it alone. The company is backed by tech heavyweights like Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and a roster of forward-thinking investors. This gives 𝗗𝗧 not just credibility, but also access to a network of partners and resources that most energy startups can only dream of. Of course, the path isn't easy. Regulatory hurdles are real and significant. 𝗗𝗧's first application to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission was denied, but the company didn't give up. They've resubmitted and are actively working through the complex approval process, determined to be the first to bring this new wave of nuclear to market. NRC approval is the make-or-break catalyst for 𝗗𝗧. Once secured, it unlocks the door to commercial deployment, allowing 𝗗𝗧 to move from R&D and prototypes to real-world revenue-generating projects. Their first project is planned at Idaho National Lab, a world-class research facility. This partnership gives 𝗗𝗧 access to top-tier expertise, infrastructure, and a proving ground to demonstrate their technology at scale. Financially, the numbers are compelling. A single Aurora reactor under a 20-year contract could generate hundreds of millions in revenue. Now imagine scaling that to dozens or even hundreds of reactors across the country. The upside potential is massive and could transform 𝗗𝗧 into a major player in the energy sector. 𝗗𝗧's reactors run on HALEU, a next-generation nuclear fuel, creating a symbiotic link with suppliers like Centrus. Looking further ahead, 𝗗𝗧's vision includes recycling used nuclear fuel, which could help solve the industry's waste problem and make nuclear even more sustainable. The risk is high. Regulatory approval is the binary event that will determine 𝗗𝗧's fate, but if they succeed, they could redefine what distributed, resilient, and clean power looks like for the 21st century. Imagine a future where a network of microreactors powers not just data centers, but also remote towns, military outposts, and critical infrastructure, making the grid more robust, less centralized, and far less vulnerable to outages or cyber attacks. 𝗗𝗧 is a true first mover in fast-fission microreactors, with a unique power-as-a-service model that could change how we think about buying and selling electricity. By 2026, keep an eye out for NRC progress and customer deals. Each milestone could dramatically re-rate the stock and signal 𝗗𝗧's transition from promise to reality. For investors with a taste for risk and a long-term perspective, 𝗗𝗧 represents a rare shot at generational returns, potentially riding the next great energy revolution from the ground floor. In summary, 𝗗𝗧, 𝗗𝗧, is building the future of decentralized nuclear, factory-built, inherently safe and infinitely scalable. They're not just making reactors, they're reimagining the entire energy ecosystem. High risk, high reward, and a bold vision for the next era of energy. 𝗗𝗧 is betting big on a cleaner, more resilient world. And if they pull it off, the impact could be historic. Let's scale up to our final company. Transition to next scene. End of scene. Finally, let's talk about NuScale Power, ticker SMR, the global leader in small modular reactors, or SMRs. NuScale stands at the forefront of a nuclear revolution, aiming to reshape how the world thinks about clean, reliable energy. While traditional nuclear plants are massive, expensive, and slow to build, NuScale's approach is all about flexibility, scalability, and safety. NuScale's 𝗣𝗟𝗧 modules generate 77 megawatts each, 5 times more than Oklo's microreactors, and can be combined like Lego bricks for up to 900 plus megawatts. This means utilities can start with just a few modules and add more over time, adapting to changing energy needs and budgets. This modular approach lets utilities start small and expand as needed, lowering financial risk and making nuclear accessible to more customers. It's a game changer for regions that can't afford the upfront cost or long timelines of traditional nuclear plants, and it opens the door for nuclear to play a bigger role in the global energy mix. Safety is core. Each module sits in a massive underground pool, uses natural circulation for cooling, and can shut down safely with no operator action or external power. This passive safety design is a major leap forward, addressing public concerns and regulatory hurdles that have slowed nuclear adoption in the past. NuScale is the only company with an NRC-certified SMR design, a regulatory moat that gives them a multi-year head start. This certification is not just a technical achievement, it's a powerful competitive advantage, making NuScale the go-to choice for governments and utilities looking for proven, approved nuclear solutions. While their first big project with UAMPS was cancelled due to cost concerns, the technology itself is proven and demand is global. The cancellation was a setback, but it highlighted the need for cost discipline and the importance of finding the right partners and customers. Internationally, countries like Romania and Poland are looking to NuScale to replace coal and reduce reliance on Russian gas. These nations see SMRs as a way to secure their energy future, cut emissions, and modernize their grids without waiting decades for new infrastructure. NuScale's business model includes providing technology, engineering, and lifecycle support multiple long-term revenue streams per project. This means NuScale isn't just selling hardware, they're building lasting partnerships and recurring income as their reactors operate for decades. The total addressable market is in the trillions, and NuScale is at the front of the line. As countries and corporations race to decarbonize, the demand for scalable, clean baseload power is only going to accelerate. The key for 2026, execution, and new contracts. NuScale's future will be defined by its ability to turn its pipeline into signed deals and operational projects, proving the commercial viability of SMRs at scale. The market has priced in past setbacks. Now, upside comes from new deals. Investors are watching closely for signs that NuScale can convert interest into revenue and deliver on its ambitious promises. Partnerships like Standard Power, using NuScale's SMRs to power data centers, show the tech's commercial appeal, especially as AI and cloud drive energy demand. Data centers are energy-hungry and need reliable, carbon-free power, making them a perfect fit for SMRs. The investment thesis: NuScale is the leader in a new category with regulatory risk largely behind them and a massive market ahead. Their early mover advantage and proven technology put them in a strong position to capture market share as the SMR industry takes off. The main risk is commercial, signing customers and ramping up projects. Execution will be everything, and NuScale must prove it can deliver on time and on budget to win over skeptics. But the need for clean, reliable power is only growing. As renewables expand, the grid needs stable, always-on sources like SMRs to balance supply and demand, especially as electrification accelerates worldwide. U.S. government support remains strong, recognizing the strategic importance of SMRs. Federal backing helps de-risk projects and signals confidence to private investors and international partners. By 2026, expect clarity on projects in Romania and with Standard Power. Each milestone de-risks the story and could drive a re-rating. These projects will serve as proof points, showing the world that SMRs are not just a concept, but a commercial reality. NuScale is more mature than Oklo, but still offers huge growth potential as modular nuclear goes mainstream. The company is at a pivotal moment, with the chance to define the next era of nuclear energy. The UAMPS setback created a buying opportunity for long-term investors focused on fundamentals. If NuScale executes, the rewards could be significant as the market recognizes the value of its technology and pipeline. In summary, NuScale SMR is the only NRC-certified SMR provider with a scalable modular design and a global pipeline. Their technology is ready, their market is massive, and their moment is now. It's a recovery and growth story at the heart of the energy transition. As the world races to decarbonize, NewScale's SMRs could be the missing piece that unlocks a sustainable, electrified future. Let's wrap up with your next move. Transition to next scene. End of scene. There you have it. Centrus, Oklo, and NewScale, each leading the nuclear revolution from a unique angle. The shift to clean, reliable energy is a multi-decade transformation, and these companies are at the center. Want deeper analysis and real-time trade alerts? Join the Stocks Galore Patreon. Link in the description. Which business model do you find most compelling? Centrus's fuel monopoly, Oklo's microreactor as a service, or NewScale's scalable SMRs? Drop your pick in the comments. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big investing update. Thanks for watching.